I think it was winter or spring, Sister Jane came back from a meeting with the sisters and was telling me about some of the things that they were discussing and going over. And I said, do you think Sister Sue would ever come and be with us? And she said, well, I think so. And so we are very lucky to have Sister Sue with us. And so I welcome her up to talk a little bit about the sister.
I had a really difficult time getting here because they kept looking for the young sisters to come. So I'm the youngest that they could find. That actually is the truth. The whole profile of the sisters across the United States, the Sisters of Mercy of the Americas, is changing, just like the world is changing. And so it behooves us all the time to think about what it is that should remain and should continue to be our mission and our ministry. And so when I look at you, I want to say some words about the legacy of the Sisters of Mercy, but not too much, because to me, legacy means that's kind of done and dusted language. That's putting the Sisters of Mercy away with the booklet in the drawer. And while we're older, we're still savvier. So what I really thought about with these remarks was that maybe I could talk about the legacy of the Sisters of Mercy, but how could I talk about the legacy of the Sisters of Mercy without talking about you, each of you, and I've met some of you. How could I talk about the legacy of the Sisters of Mercy without acknowledging, since 1880 and then 1888, all your predecessors who anonymously have been doing good for so many people for so many years in so many places. And those of you who have had a public life, like Reverend Pastor Senator Warnock, which makes your life even more difficult when the good that you try to do is in a public context. So today, after all, mercy moves through you. Mercy moves through you, Mercy Care trustees and administrators, the ones nobody ever seems to understand what they're doing at all those meetings. The ones who make and the leadership and the operations of a place like Mercy Care run. I know some people think that being a trustee is just all those lovely luncheons that you get to go to that have a lemon tart or cheesecake at the end with the raspberry sauce. Today we're lucky, we have creme brulee. So there's a motivation for being with Mercy Care. Mercy moves through you, all the direct service providers and the staff members. Mercy moves through you, Mercy Care donors and volunteers and public officials. Mercy moves through each of you, and Mercy has, not just for 40 years, but for very much longer. And Senator, Pastor, Reverend Warnock, Mercy moves through you, and I want to give you a shout out because you were one of the only legislators who met with all of us sisters when we went to Capitol Hill as Sister Speaks. And in the old days, we would have had 3,000 sisters there. And this time we had 300, many in wheelchairs, praying the rosary, praying for our legislators, and you, Pastor, Senator, greeted them, and I believe they asked you to bless them, and they blessed you. That is a certain kind of... It takes a big-hearted person to interrupt a day full of meetings and messages in the hallways where you dwell, to come and see a bunch of mostly old ladies who really want to support you in your care and ministry to other people. So thank you. So Mercy's been moving through all your predecessors since about 1880, when the Sisters of Mercy, with far less common sense, but far more help from people like you, opened Atlanta Hospital, then St. Joseph's, and then for the past 40 years, Mercy Care Thus, it is your mercy, your misericordiando at Decatur Street and at your other 3 sites across Atlanta to the poor and the infirm and the homeless, God's people, that creates the legacy of the Sisters of Mercy. Your work, not so much ours now, is what extends the gospel. Your work extends the charism of mercy that was gifted from our founders, Catherine McCauley, to make us walking sisters. And we used to walk among the poor of 19th century Dublin, and now we walk with you. We walk with you toward the poor, to be among the poor, not away from the poor. I saw this last month when Sister Jane took me to the Decatur Street site and toured your area and your clinic and your pastor community. There I saw people, your people, sitting or sleeping on the sidewalks, waiting for Mercy Care to open. There I saw people walking the streets near your facility. Some of them were talking to each other. Some of them were talking to someone who I didn't see. All different. But what they all had in common is they were waiting for you to offer them your ear, your patience, your expertise, your professionalism, your healing. And that's what you do every day to all comers. The ability of pay does not mean you cannot apply. So, not the legacy of the Sisters of Mercy, it's too self-referential. Rather, I'd like to talk about the future, and I would like to talk about you and your role in our mercy and work. And so we invite you to join the Sisters of Mercy, not in building a legacy, but in building a runway to the future with us. A runway to the future that unites us in what I'm going to call a conspiracy of compassion. Now, I know conspiracy is a dirty word, but if you take the Latin etymology of it, it means on with, spirare, to breathe. To breathe with people who need you. To breathe with, a conspiracy of compassion, breathing with compassion. So it's not sinister, but it's an inclusive belonging with emphasis on heart and mind and soul. So who are those people who might lead our work in a conspiracy of compassion? They are, I think, the people in chaos. The people in chaos. The people awaiting mercy, which a Jesuit friend of mine defines mercy as the willingness to enter into the chaos of others, and I would add, and help. The willingness to enter into the chaos of others and help. That's what mercy is. So what specifically is the chaos for the people of your Atlanta communities today, into which we must enter, I hope, willingly? So might it be the chaos caused in our communities when there is too much competition and too little collaboration and cooperation? Too little truth-telling and trust-giving? Might it be the chaos that cripples family life with too much scarcity while others live in superabundance? Might it be the chaos caused in a government with diatribe, posturing, and self-interest that have seemed to replace temperance, comity, not comedy, discourse, and the public interest? When there's too much I and not enough we? We, the people? This is just some of the chaos that we need to enter, to offer together the fruits of our conspiracy of compassion in the name of God. The fruits of mercy offered to all takers who stand amid the chaos of the world and who need our help. And this is when mercy moves through you. You Mercy Care trustees, administrators, partners. When you offer your time and expertise in the ministry of organizational leadership, the ministry of organizational leadership. And this is when mercy moves through you Mercy Care staff members and direct service providers, because it's a ministry of healing touch caused by the chaos that causes pain and hurt. And this is when mercy moves through you Mercy Care donors and volunteers, when you are willing to open up your checkbook yet again to come to an engagement like this, to an organization that will never not need your help. And this is when mercy moves through you government and governmental leaders, whose work can be, if you choose, it can be the ministry of influence, and public service. And this is why Reverend Pastor, Senator, Mercy Care honors you today. Not because of your title, not because of your education and your degrees, not even because of your marvelous preaching. We honor you because of the way you exercise your pastoral responsibilities and your position in the corridors of the Capitol, on the Senate subways, and in the office buildings. Now there's a place where we enter into the chaos of others, and you have helped. Your work is creating a runway to the future for people whose lives are rife with chaos, people who are fearful and confused. And I'm a policy analyst, my degree is in public policy, but I've never seen public policy change a heart as much as a pastoral response to another person, one by one. So I think your folks who named you, Raphael, Gamaliel of God, Raphael, God's healing, Gamaliel, God's treasure. We thank you for coupling your pastoral leadership with your public service. It's a trick. Somehow you did it. Be careful, you might be on America's Got Talent. And thank you, everyone, honestly. The 1,700 Sisters of Mercy of the Americas, thank you. And we do pray for you. That's sometimes a casual line that goes by, it's like, and I'll pray for you, but we do. And those of us in faith know that that will take us places that will make our work more of a ministry. And for the ministry that you do at Mercy Care, the Sisters of Mercy of the Americas can't thank you enough. And they let me do that because I'm young.